This is the Scary Movie Clubcast.
Live from the clubhouse, this is Scary Movie Clubcast. This is Nadine.
And this is Amanda.
And tonight we watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And Amanda's going to give us a quick summary.
It's basically about this group of young adults, hard to tell, it's the 70s, can't really tell how old they are, who are going on this road trip somewhere in the middle of nowhere in Texas, and they wind up meeting the wrong family. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Family of all men. That's how you know it's going to be wrong. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, so I have the fun facts for tonight, and a ton of them, an obscene amount. Let's see. So let's just dive in, and then we'll edit out the ones that aren't interesting enough to make it.
Yeah. As always.
Yeah. No. Hang on. Do you know how I can... No. Do you know how I can silence... Do I have to go into settings in Messenger? Oh, you know what? I'm just going to close Facebook. There we go. That seems like the easiest possible solution. When my group chats started going off, I was like, oh no. So the guy who plays Leatherface and the guy who plays Franklin, the one who's in a wheelchair, they did not like each other on set. Like, they didn't get along to the point where, like, Leatherface was so thankful when it came time that he got to kill him because he was like, good, be done, like, be gone. Wow. And years later, they ran into each other, and it turned out that the actor who was in the wheelchair was using, like, method acting. So he never got out of the wheelchair. He stayed whiny the whole time filming. But so when they met years later, he was like, oh, I don't hate you. And they became really good friends.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Method acting, I hate it.
Well, and if you're doing method acting, maybe tell somebody.
Everyone on set should know.
Yes. Toby Hooper, who is, of course, the director for this, when Sally does her leap through the window...
The first one or the second one?
Couldn't tell you. Let's assume it's the first one. He uses a stunt double for that. Uh-huh. But that actress still ended up hurting herself doing the insert of, like, her falling to the ground.
Oh, no.
No. I feel like that's ridiculous. I would be making
don't want people to get hurt.
I would be making such fun of her. I mean, I'd be like, come on, you can't even. I feel like Ted Bundy jumped multiple stories. You can't even fall to the ground. So, the guy who plays, like, the younger brother, the hitchhiker, apparently Texas state troopers, when they see him, will, like, stop him and shake his hand because crime went down by 18% after this movie, because everyone's general takeaway is, like, don't pick up hitchhikers.
It's a good takeaway.
Yeah, it's just a good life lesson in general. Oh, this one's wild. The film's original distributor was, Bryanston Distribution Company, which turned out to be a mafia front.
Stop it.
Isn't that wild?
That is.
Oh, man. Oh, the poor guy. Poor Gunnar Hansen, who plays Leatherface, he hit his head on doorways and other objects several times because, like,
Too big?
Well, they made him wear 3-inch heels.
Oh.
And the mask he was wearing made it so he really couldn't see where he was walking. At one point, he literally, like, knocked himself out cold in a doorway. Yeah, the heels that he's wearing made him a total of 6'4". So, pretty tall. Most of the actors didn't actually meet Gunnar, let alone see him in costume before their first scene with him, which for many of them was their last scene. Yeah. But so it helped to make them, like, real scared.
Yeah.
Okay, all through production, Gunnar would, like, ask Toby and be like, so how are we gonna do the scene where, like, he hits me on the head with the wrench and, like...
he's just gonna hit you on the head with the wrench.
Well, and also cuts my leg with the chainsaw. And Toby just kept being like, well, we'll figure it out. It'll be fine. Because it's, like, the last scene.
Yeah.
And Gunnar's like, I don't feel like you're worried about my safety. And so what they ended up doing is they put a metal plate underneath on his leg. But I don't know if they're just dumb or didn't realize, but like metal conducts heat. And so when it's touched by a chainsaw, it hurt so bad that he thought that it had gone straight through the sheet and was like on his, like he thought that he had been cut by the chainsaw.
Wow.
Yeah. So there were some lines of like gibberish written in the script for Leatherface, and Toby and Gunnar would sit together and like go over them and like what they were supposed to mean. That way he would like try to portray them. And he had one thing that he tried to say where it was like an actual line, and Hooper stopped and was like, whoa, you're making the character too intelligent, and they reshot it, and Gunnar was like, my one line. Okay, this one's crazy. Due to the low budget, the guy who plays Leatherface, they only got him one shirt because it had been dyed, and so I guess that it couldn't be washed, and he had to wear it 4 weeks straight in the Texas heat.
That's nasty.
Yes. By the end of the shoot, it was so bad that no one wanted to stand near him or eat lunch with him.
No.
Oh, man. This section I just call yuck. The animal corpses strewn throughout the house were real, borrowed from a local veterinarian. Near the end of the production, they were like, how are we going to get rid of all these corpses? And they just piled them up and burned them.
Okay.
Super classy. Guillermo del Toro became a vegetarian after seeing this film.
It's gross. It's a very nasty, gross movie.
Yes. Not good. Oh, this one's just in the yuck column for me personally. It probably wouldn't be for someone else, but the guy who plays Leatherface, this role marked the first and only time that he's ever shaved off his beard.
That's wild.
Yeah. Facial hair. So the room that was filled with, like, the dead animals, and also had rotting food in it too, had no air conditioning or electric fans. Everyone later recalled that like just the smell and the heat of being in there was so miserable it made several people sick and almost pass out. The guy who played the hitchhiker, he said that filming that scene was the worst time of my life, and I served in Vietnam.
Oh no!
So, like, he had been to war, and he was, like, worse.
Wait, which scene was this again?
The hitchhiker guy?
Yeah, which scene?
The dinner scene.
Oh, yeah. I hate that.
Oh, yeah, because the dinner scene seems like it's happening at night, but actually they use blackout curtains. It's full day heat during that. Which even the nights for this one, even at night, it was getting to be, like, 80. 80 was, like, a blessed relief. Oh yeah, they use sounds that an animal would hear inside a slaughterhouse. I think in the music in the beginning. Oh yeah, and I wanted to tell you this while we were watching. Like, when she is running and they keep, like, doing all this stuff and not catching up to her, they had to, like, find stuff to do because they kept catching up to her too fast. Yeah. So it's, like, intentional.
I mean, well, she's, like, trying to, like, hobble because she's jumped through a window twice, especially at the end. Yeah. And it's, like, I mean, it's kind of crazy that they don't catch up to her.
Yeah. That character, when she's, like, going through the undergrowth and stuff, she genuinely cut herself pretty bad.
Oh, I'm sure. It looked awful.
Well, and to the point where most of that blood you're seeing is hers. Like, that's her blood. Which we'll circle back to later because Toby Hooper intentionally was trying not to use much blood. This one's wild. One of the crew members, Dorothy J. Pearl, accidentally injected herself in the leg with formaldehyde while preparing one of the props.
What?
Yeah. No. And it's, like, dangerous. I looked it up and, like, you have to, like, I assumed she was okay. It didn't say anything, but I assumed the doctors were like,
and then she died.
That would have been crazy. Yeah, this director was crazy, for sure. Toby Hooper. Do you want to guess what they almost named this movie?
No.
Head cheese.
Oh.
So apparently Toby Hooper came up with the idea of the chainsaw when it was like during Christmas time, and he was standing in a hardware store, and there was just like a crowd of people, and he just like glanced over at a chainsaw and was like, man, I could get rid of all these people. Because he's a lunatic.
Yeah, obviously.
The guy who does the opening narration was paid with a joint. That's all they gave him.
They're keeping a low budget.
Okay, this is my last fun fact, and it is the craziest of them all, in my opinion. Toby Hooper thought that this film was going to get a PG rating. That was his goal. That's why he didn't use much blood. That's why so much of the violence takes place, like, off-screen or where you can't, like, really see it. Like, it's ironic that people consider this to be one of the goriest films of all time, because that was, like, he thought that he was not doing that. He was
holding back. He was like, I'm holding back, guys.
So much. Like, literally, he put in for a PG rating, and they were like, it is a hard X. And he was like, well, and he had to, like, edit stuff out and keep sending it back and making appeals. And then when he finally got it down to an R, he was like, I just put it out.
This must have been before PG-13 was invented, because that didn't come out until, like, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, I doubt that he would have been able to get a PG-13 for this anyway.
Yeah.
They didn't even want to go down to R.
Yeah.
In many countries, they wouldn't even release it.
I mean, the people gave The Strangers a hard time with it being like, it's like a snuff film. I'm like, yeah, but there's Hollywood polish to it. You can see it all over it.
Yeah.
There's no polish to this. It feels like a snuff film. You're like, should I be watching this? It's so gross.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Okay. I felt fine.
It's just like, this is the second time I've ever seen it, and I was like, I think the first time could have been the last time.
Oh, wow. it didn't bother me more than, like, any other film, personally, but...
And maybe it's, like, just how gross... It's just, like, everything in it's so gross. Like, there's not a part of it where it's, like, not disgusting. It's also, like, most of it takes place during the broad daylight of Texas heat, and it's just... It's too nasty for me. And then it's, like, the I mean, obviously this is a product of, like, when it was filmed. It's, like, the grittiness of the film just adds to that for me. And it's, like, the whole, like, all the colors and, like, the set pieces and everything. It's just, like, too gritty and too gross. I don't like it.
Mm. Yeah, you could just show me, like, Texas heat, and I'd be like, ugh, gross. Yuck. Yeah, it's interesting. I will say, I think what blows my mind the most, though, is just how quickly he kills the first people.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I feel like that movie feels like it goes by quick. So what were our biggest scares? That big old pile of spiders. Right in the beginning when they walk into the abandoned house. That huge nest of daddy long legs. That was
disgusting.
Terrifying.
Absolutely disgusting. Maybe the part where Leatherface's chainsaw lands on him, I was like, ooh. I felt that.
It's like when it's like the machete.
Yeah, you're like, ooh, owie.
Oh, man. Oh, it was so nice when that guy got hit by the... Never mind. Oh, wait. But,
he got tore up.
Good.
That truck. It was crazy.
It's everything you want. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think if anything else was, like... I definitely know, like, jump scares, or, like, not really, at least. I guess maybe it could have been a little scary when the guy came in with the rope, but, I mean, it felt pretty predictable to me. Like, I feel like if you were a horror noob and you didn't assume that guy was bad, then you would be scared by that.
I mean, I will say, I really liked, you can really feel, like, the panic in Sally. It's just, like, just so much horrible stuff just happens so fast. And she's just, like, full on adrenaline, just, like, doesn't even know what's happening, just trying to get away. Like, her, like, panicked, like, energy when she walks into that gas station and she's, like, find someone she thinks is gonna help her. Like, she did an excellent job of just, like, being a wreck.
I do think so. Yeah, I think she did a good job of acting it. Yeah. That is the worst part, too, is when you think you found salvation and then Guy doesn't even own a phone, supposedly. Although I guess he probably does. And he's just like, we're not using it for this.
Yeah, he's like, no. It's dinner time.
Oh, that
Your dinner.
I really felt for her when she was looking up at the sausages, and like, to me at least, I mean, it felt like her mind was turning, and
She's like, it can't be. No way.
what did you eat? Oh, double blood sausage. What were the laughs? You didn't laugh at all, but some of it's funny.
It's so gross. Everything about it's so gross to me. I find very little joy in this. I mean, I like that Leatherface had, like, multiple masks for multiple occasions. That's kind of funny.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he had his formal dinner mask that had the most makeup on it, and, like...
That's when he's being a pretty woman. Mm-hmm. They call that his pretty woman mask.
Yeah. He
has the old lady mask when he's getting dinner ready, and he's like, I'm the host.
I noticed. He's putting in the effort.
Yeah. And then, of course, the killing mask.
Yeah. That old thing.
Yeah. The guy, Gunnar Hansen, he, like... went to a school that was specifically for, like, mentally, disabled people, and, like, tried to, like, watch their mannerisms, and he's like, I really did my literal best to, like, not portray this in an offensive way.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty well done. It helps that he doesn't have any lines, and so it's, like, you really just have to have, like, the physical, like, little...
A lot of respect to take for such a low-budget film, too. So good on him.
Yeah. And people being in method character. I mean, people tried. They were not getting paid, but they said, we want to do well.
Yeah.
I think for me... Wait, so you have no laugh? Or the mask? The mask made you
I decided
laugh
the masks.
Okay.
Internally, I was like...
For me, I definitely thought that it was hilarious when he had her in the truck, and then he's like, I gotta turn off these lights, electricity, put you out of business. That was super funny. Also, just the fact that he kept jabbing her with the broomstick.
That was so rude.
It was so rude. Oh, man. And then... also, when they were sitting at the table, and then the hitchhiker brother is just, like, making those crazy faces at her, and it's so weird and so dumb, but it makes me laugh. Like, it was very weird. And they did, like he... Toby Hooper thought this was a dark comedy. Like, he gets that it's horror, but he thought that there was lots of comedy in this. He said that when he was...
The creator?
Yeah. He said that when he was writing it with his co-writer, that's how he knew that they were done, is he was like, it's funny.
That might be the funniest part.
I do think that some of it is funny, but...
Not horror comedy level.
No. Not horror comedy level, no. But some of it. Also, okay, so the person who was, like, grandpa, and I'm doing air quotes, I know you guys can't see, but was in
disgusting
old person makeup.
Yeah.
But it, to me, looked like a mask. I mean, I thought for sure that was someone in a mask.
It was a mask.
Well, I know for sure that it's old person makeup because it took 5 hours, and so when they put him in it, he was like, we have to do all my scenes now because I am not doing this again. So they shot for like 36 hours straight. Yikes. When they put him in the makeup.
Well, I mean, I guess it's kind of like the Grinch. Yeah. Like, I mean, technically that's makeup, but like it covered his whole face. So it's like, is it a makeup or is it like a makeup mask?
Yes. What I'm saying is that I thought that it looked terrible. If it's supposed to look like makeup. I thought that he didn't look like an old person at all. He looked like a person in a mask to me.
I concur. A low budget, you know.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Very true.
He's also... I'm assuming he's supposed to look like he's mostly dead already. Because that's what he gives. Yeah. Corpse in a chair. Like when you first see him in the upstairs scene... sitting across from what I can only imagine is his wife, who is definitely dead. You're like, oh, that's another dead body up there. There's 2 dead bodies, and then there's the dead animals. And then he comes down and he starts sucking on Sally's finger like it's a bottle, and you're like, this is absolutely foul and disgusting.
He's like one of those vampires who hasn't had blood in a minute, and so they're like all old and decrepit.
So he doesn't get young and beautiful, he just stays hideous.
Yeah. So I know you're ready for this next part. least favorite parts?
All of it. I don't like this.
But which part is like the worst of the worst to you?
The grandpa sucking her finger. I literally... It makes me so uncomfortable. Like, his reaction to it and, like, everyone else's reaction. Like, her reaction, appropriate. Horror. Absolute horror. Pass out. I'm like, thank goodness I passed out. But it is so disgusting to me. I hate it so much.
Okay. I feel like you feel about this the way that I feel about that part in Midsummer. Where it, like, makes me gag even now. Thinking I can't even talk about
So
it.
gross.
Like, I could throw up. But yeah, I get it. I would say that my least favorite part is when they first get to Leatherface's house and that the boyfriend puts that tooth in his girlfriend's hand. And I was telling Amanda when we were watching it, this is why I'm single. Because I can't deal with that type of nonsense. It just blows my mind that this man treats you that way. And then what, later you're going to have sex with him? This man is the worst. Ah, what a nightmare. I'm going to die alone. I can't live with that type of crap. If you put a body part in my hand intentionally to annoy me, like you're literally doing it on purpose to make me upset, then I don't love you anymore. I don't. Just the worst. Favorite part?
Oh, gosh. Oh, the part where Sally gets away in the truck and she's driving away.
Oh, yeah. I love the
that
smile
part.
she gives, too.
Yeah.
Very cute.
And I love the guy looking back like, what happened to you? Like, he's like, what did I just drive past?
Yeah. I do wish that I would have, like, liked her more as a person in the beginning so
Yeah.
that I would, like, want her to be my final girl.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, happy to see anyone live. Also, one thing that I do really like about this, too, is that, like, we don't have to see any breast. Which, I mean, it's because he's going for that PG rating.
Yeah. She
But-
was like, we're going to go, there's no boobies, but there's going to be no bras
Always.
on this set.
Always. If you're
No
making a
bras.
horror movie, there is no bra budget.
It's just not in the budget.
But it was just nice to keep him under the shirt for once. Favorite part. Oh yeah, I think for sure my favorite part is when the hitchhiker brother gets hit by the truck. I mean, it's just everything you've ever wanted. It is perfection. One time Amanda and I were in a car and someone did they cut us off? Or
I don't even think they even cut us off. We stopped we were stopped at a red light.
Oh yes, and
It had been red. It had been red.
Mhm.
And this car just blazes right through it. Like, it had never... They don't even know what that color red looks like.
they don't care. They're living their own life.
Got pulled over immediately. It was amazing.
It was everything. Yeah, it's just everything you want. I mean, instant justice, swiftly served. It was perfection. And that's what this man getting hit by this truck was. It was so good. I was so happy for Sally at that moment. What did we think of the overall plot quality? Could use some work, in my opinion.
Yeah, we're pushing it. We don't... To be honest, we were not paying attention in the very beginning.
Yeah, it's fair.
So I don't know why they were on this road trip. They do make a stop to Sally and Franklin's grandparents' house, I guess. It's owned by their father now.
Mhm.
And it's all run down.
Swimming holes dried up.
Yes, swimming holes, saddest thing that could happen. Hot day in Texas,
And he
swimming
was-
holes dried up.
When he was like, I think we're here, I literally was like, where? What's happening?
But it seemed like they also had another destination in mind. I don't know where they were going, where they were coming from, why they were out there in the heat. Don't know. But they did find their way onto someone else's property, and they were warned that they should not be wandering around.
I know.
And they've been wandering.
Poor Leatherface. I mean, he had 3 people break into his house.
But like I said, now he doesn't have to go grocery shopping.
Yes. Yes. Balance of nature.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely think that the plot could have used, like, a little zhuzhing up. It's not terrible, but some things needed to be better explained, and it would have been nice to have a bit more likable characters and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
And I mean, maybe part of it's just like more modern sensibilities. It's like, it's weird that they would go wander onto someone else's land to like ask them for gas, but
Yeah.
like maybe it wasn't that weird in the 70s. I know there was like a time period where there was like gas shortages and stuff, so I'm pretty sure that fell in like the 70s, 80s time. But what would not go someone else's house looking for gas. I probably would have just been like, I guess we're hanging out at this gas station until the gas truck comes.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, that's like the only reasonable thing to do. Also, I do love when he was like, probably should have asked if there was another gas station. That was another funny part. Like, that was pretty good. Because that's the exact type of thing that I feel like could happen in a scenario like that. It's like when we all wanted bread at the restaurant and we were like, should have asked.
Yeah.
All right. So, is there anything else you want to say? This is a quick one.
Well, I mean, I will say something about... It's not about this movie. It's about the most recent, like, sequel, spin-off, reboot kind of thing they did recently on Netflix. It was terrible. It was so bad I hated it. I mean, the one thing I did like about it was that it had the Hollywood polish that I like. So I was like, yes, I am watching a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And,
you remind me of In the Mindy Project when it's like she goes to see that independent film and then she's like, the people on the screen were like, not attractive. I didn't understand why we had paid money to look at that.
Love Mindy. She gets it.
She does.
But the one thing I did like about that, the newest iteration of it, was that they brought back Sally. They made her like a really tough older lady who was going to come. But she didn't wind up saving the day. She should have. Like, she should have been like...
Yeah.
The thing that, like, really turned the tables, but she won't... Like, she dies. Spoiler alert, sorry.
Killing the final girl. How dare they?
Yeah, I mean, they got new final people. But, and then I was also kind of upset they didn't get the same actress, but like I told you, I guess... I don't really think she did a lot of acting after...
Yeah,
Texas Chainsaw.
I forget who the other person was, but like, what's his name? Toby Hooper, and then only one other person that was involved in this had like a successful career after it. Although the guy who's the hitchhiker started doing voiceovers for anime.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
But she wasn't in it, and she recently passed.
Sad.
Yeah. But this is hard because I know it's like, I know where it stands in, like, the horror zeitgeist or whatever. Like, it's very, like, popular and influential. Like, there are scenes in, like, Dale and Tucker versus Evil, for example, where they do an homage to the scene where Leatherface does his, like, weird chainsaw dance at the end in the beautiful sunset.
Yeah.
Honestly, great part of the whole movie.
Yeah.
Is that part where he's doing his little dance. I don't have to see the disgustingness of the house. But, like, it's not for me. It's just not.
Do you think that any random person could go up to a veterinarian's office and be like, may I have some corpses, please?
I think it really depends on the vet.
I just wonder, like, how much explanation they had to give.
I mean, I'm sure you had to be like, we're doing this for a movie. Obviously, we don't want to kill any animals. And we don't really have the budget to, like, fabricate a bunch of fake animal corpses.
Yeah.
Do you have any that we could just have?
It's just interesting to think of. I feel like Donner's going to listen to this and be like,
You could just ask and they'll just give it to you.
It's okay for you not to like something that is, you know, I mean, it can be popular and it cannot be your thing. That's like me with Halloween.
Yeah, and I know it's weird because, like, I like Halloween and I like Friday the 13th. And I just can't explain why. It's because this one's so gross. Like, the other ones are not as gross. Like, I mean, they're violent and gory, but this is, like, disgusting. Like, I've been to gross houses, and, like, I can imagine what it smells like in that house. Like, the idea that those people, like, that the first guy even walked into that house in the first place is crazy to me. Because you would have, like, gone to the door, even if you didn't smell it through the screen, as soon as you opened it, you would have smelt the nastiness, the death, the dirt. They're not cleaning that house.
Well, and there's literally stuff rotting inside.
Yeah, there's going to be a potent smell of blood. It's going to be nasty. You're not going in there. And it's just too gross. Like, Crystal Lake is a nice little camp. I mean, the worst smell you're going to get is going to be, like, the mud and the blood, right? Mm. And it's, like, outside. And then, like, what is it, Hartfield, Illinois, or whatever? No, it's not. It's like, what's the town?
For where? For this one?
Halloween.
I don't remember.
It's in Illinois. But it's in a nice little town in Illinois. There are nice little houses. This is disgusting. Everything is gross.
Yeah, I get that.
I don't like it.
So what would you rank it?
Probably like one human blood sausage.
Which, and to be clear, they're not just human blood sausages because of the cannibalism. They're blood sausages because
Texas
Sally
barbecue. Yeah.
Because Sally cuts the sausage in half with the knife that already has the hitchhiker's blood on it. And it had already been sullied before that too because he was using it to clean his nails. So disgusting.
Nasty.
Not a food knife.
Yeah.
So what did you give it, 1?
Yeah.
It didn't bother me particularly. I mean, I feel all of that, but I don't have to smell the smell. Like, I don't, so I don't mind watching it as long as I don't have to smell it or stuff like that. Also, I think maybe because I've been watching some vampire stuff of late, him sucking on her finger didn't bug me as much as maybe it would have if I hadn't been feeling all desensitized.
It's different when it turns into a beautiful vampire person. Not when it stays a mostly dead old man.
So for me, it wasn't like the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life, but honestly, compared to a lot of slashers, I liked it better, probably. I would probably give it 4 blood sausages.
That's crazy.
It was fine by me. I'm sorry. The parts of it
4
that
blood
bugged you-
sausages is not just fine, though. That's like almost perfect.
Well, no. I mean, it's not. I would go over 4 with like a decimal point if it was. Because I don't think it's any lower than that. I mean, I thought it was well done. It made me laugh at certain points. Like, I wish that it had scared me more. But other than that,
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever be watching it again.
that's okay.
I don't like it.
Yeah. I feel like the more that we do the podcast and just club in general, the more that we realize that often we don't have the same taste.
Yeah.
In slashers, I feel like, especially in other movies, it like tends to converge more, I think, but especially for slashers, we just want different things.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because, like, you don't seem to be bothered by that grittiness as much, because that grittiness I get in the Saw franchise as well.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's what I don't like about that.
I like it.
The nastiness.
Doesn't bother me.
So interesting.
I don't know, I guess to me it's like that stuff is gross. Like horror, murder, hurting people, it is gross. And so I kind of like for that to be shown. Like for it to be gross the way that it is. I don't like for it to like feel clean and comfortable.
Well, I don't need it to feel clean and comfortable. I just like it's just a bridge beyond for me. It's like it's too dirty.
Yeah. And I will say also, it's not that I don't like Saw for the gore. I like Saw for the backstory. I think that the reason that he's doing the things that he's doing is very interesting. I think that the mind games that he plays with his victims is very interesting. I like the psychological terror aspect of it. This one didn't have that, but I did like how Leatherface was honestly defensive in a way, because like they came into his house. Like, it does make me wonder too. Like, would he have gone after them? I think so, because they weren't gonna like let them get away even after they had just seen the hitchhiker. I think, but
yeah,
who had I guess been out grave robbing?
Yeah, he was desecrating graves.
Yuck. You know, this was something I was thinking about with Ed Gein, is, did people go and confirm his stories and, like, check for all those bodies?
I mean, the body parts were in his house.
Yeah, but did they, like, confirm which people they went to and, like, which graves had been robbed? Like,
I don't know.
I know. Just something to think about. It just feels like the type of crime that I could see the police being like, it's not the important part of this crime. Like,
So it's the 2 women he murdered.
yeah, it's similar to when someone dies of a drug overdose, but it's clearly sketchy circumstances, like the body's found in a weird place or like forever later, and they're just like, but it was an overdose, so we couldn't care less. Police be weird.
Also, I think it's so interesting that, like, Ed Gein, like, of all the, like, I don't know, like, he, like, barely even qualifies as a serial killer. He only, like, killed, like, two people. Maybe there's, like, some, like, light speculation that maybe he's responsible for his brother's death.
Yeah, I've heard that.
But, like, he only killed 2 people. He was mostly just robbing graves. Making breast vests, nipple belts.
Yeah. Skin lamps.
But it's crazy how much he inspired so many horror villains. Leatherface, Hannibal Lecter even.
Yeah, Buffalo Bill. I think that apparently horror writers are just like, listen, we love this concept of using the whole body. No part left behind.
Gotta get it all.
Yeah. Yeah, it is weird though.
And I guess it's maybe like a little bit more, I don't know, it's a little safer than, say, the sex crimes of Ted Bundy, you know?
Ugh.
It's like,
oh, go ahead.
no, you can go ahead.
Do you even count as a serial killer if it's only 2 victims?
I don't know. I just know, like, a lot of people can, like, he's, like, considered, like, part of, like, some of the, like, one of the more famous, bigger serial killers there are.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? You're just, like a double murder kind of guy.
He got caught so easy, too.
I mean, he's not right in the head.
Yeah. It's just one of those people that literally when something wrong goes off, they're like, you know who's weird? You know who could have done this?
Like, she was talking to him.
Yeah,
and
turned him down for a date.
Since.
She didn't want to go roller skating with him. Because obviously I did some light Ed Gein research. Well, there we have it. The first movie review of season 1.
Yeah.
In the books. Alright, thanks guys. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Scary Movie Clubcast and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. See you next movie night, and don't forget, there are 91 days till Halloween. Bye! Man, I don't feel like we're gonna have a lot of bloopers in this either.
Pepper, do something cute. He's already doing something.
He is, always. Yeah, literally always. Okay, so what do we want to rank it?
I mean, we can look back and calculate from one of our past release dates when that day of Halloween came out, but I don't really think it matters. Even if we had 1 million listeners, I don't really think they're paying that much attention to.
Never had Megan do the days. What are we gonna do?
I mean, there's no reason why we can't figure it out.
Yeah, days till Halloween. I love us, but I definitely trust Megan's math more above ours. Like, no offense to either of us. I don't think that either one of us is bad at math, but Megan's very good. I did an escape room with someone the other day. It was like a virtual escape room online. It was really fun. And I solved the math problem. And I was very proud of myself. It was a word math problem, too.